Alright, much Abrew time. Playing some Heartless Summoning Ramp in Modern. And, well, we got a Heartless Summoning. Sand looks pretty good. Heartless Summoning gets us to, oh boy, it's Elves. Okay. Well, Polluted Delta, go. See how explosive our opponent's draw is. Utopia Sprawl. So maybe this is not Elves. It's probably a Devotion deck. Oh, Strangleroot Geist. Okay. I just have no idea what our opponent's doing. Well, that's fine. If this is like some sort of weird stompy deck. I'll crack this, get a Watery Grave, tapped. Play an Island, play Heartless Summoning, play Spellskite for free, pass the turn. We're still a mana away from casting our 6 drops. Oh dear. Burning Tree Emissary. Well, hopefully our opponent does not have Nykthos. Nykthos would be super bad here. That's so much mana. Untaps. Garrick. Oh my god. We might actually just be too slow. Well, thank you, opponent. Another Arbor Elf. Oh. Don't have mana for Duplicate. Steel Hellkite. So we can copy... Wait. Can we play a 6-drop here? So we... land untap, metamorph for 1 mana, copy Burning Tree, 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, lets us play a 6-drop. I mean, that's painful, but it's probably worth it. Our opponent's going to be able to overrun Garrick if they want to. We can duplicate something. We probably just got a Worm Coil, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Hallowed Fountain, untapped, metamorph for 1 mana. Copy Burning Tree, gives us 2 mana, and then Worm Coil. I mean, that's not how we drew it up by any stretch, but that did get a Worm Coil down on turn 3. Oh, the old copy the Burning Tree Emissary. This actually helps us a lot, because now we can start playing 6 drops naturally next turn. Opponent untaps. Taps, untaps. Taps. Wistful Selkie. Draws a card. Oh my goodness, they're mana short, thank god. Oh, they can untap with Garrick. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll have to see what they have. God dang it. If they have Craterhoof for dead. Oh, that chaining together of draws. 15 mana. Oh my god. Oh, that is not cool. Oh yeah, just Genesis Wave X12. Why not? Well, I think that's game. We can't come back from this. Well, that was disappointing. Oh, wow. Well, what do we want against this deck? Just playing big things does not seem like it's going to be good enough. Well, if you have a turn 3 Worm Coil and you still just immediately lose, that's a bad sign. That's literally the most powerful thing our deck can do. And if that's not good enough, with Spellskite Protection even, if that's not enough, then we have some serious issues. We can bring in, I don't even know, I guess like Pithing Needle, Trinket Mage, Engineered Explosives, Graft Digger's Cage, go down, Plow Beast, Sharam, Treasure Mage, Spellskite. I guess bring in Dismember over a Spellskite doesn't do much. Try it like that. So we get to play first. This is awkward. We have our Graft Digger's Cage, but we only have 1 land, and we have 3 Mind Stones. Which means if we draw 1... we got a mulligan. We can't keep that. Alright, this is definitely not great. Engineered Explosives is hopefully helpful. We'll keep it. Worm Coil is going to have to go to the bottom for now. I think we're just going to play Explosives X1. So Plains, Explosives X1, pass the turn. This gives us the opportunity of sacking it next turn if we need to. If we wait till next turn, we don't have that possibility for our opponent. And Utopia Sprawl. Well, Hallowed Fountain, untapped. This Plains is going to come back to haunt us, I think. Because we can't cast our Grand Architect. Oh, we need a blue source. We need a blue source. Opponent has Strangleroot Geist. Sure. And a land. Gets in 4-2. Down to 16. Blue mana? Oh, this... mana! Oh my goodness! Oh, we're so close to doing good things, and it just keeps falling apart. Treasure Mage. We can't search up blue mana. I guess we just take a Worm Coil past the turn. We have one basic Swamp and one basic Plains. I think everything else... well, and an Academy Ruins. Everything else makes blue mana. So it's a little unfortunate that this is how things have lined up. Opponent gets in with Strangleroot Geist. We take it. If we draw a blue source, we just get to immediately... we draw a Spellskite. Well, let's get in with Treasure Mage. Play Spellskite. And then just... sack Explosives. Pass the turn. We'll draw blue mana eventually. We might actually have to crack Mindstone if we don't draw a blue source this turn. Burning Tree Emissary for our opponent. There's their Nykthos. Eternal Witness. Gets back Utopia Sprawl. Well, our opponent's down to one card. Unfortunately, if that one card is Genesis Wave, we're probably still just dead. We gotta hope it's not Genesis Wave. Also blue mana. Would be a draw. Alright, well, let's do this. See if we can find blue mana. Well, we finally found it. Oh, man, it's too slow, though. We can't even play our stuff this turn. Watery Grave, untapped. For want of blue mana, play our Grand Architect. Pass the turn. So the problem here is we needed to be able to play the Steel Hellkite to kill our opponent's stuff. Now we're 2 turns away from doing that, and that's just probably too slow when our opponent can Genesis Wave here. Opponent has Acidic Slime. Well, that's not a Genesis Wave. Going after our blue mana. Well, let's redirect to Spellskite. Alright. Opponent passes. Well, play Grand Architect. And Worm Coil. Pass the turn. I mean, we're at the point where we're just hoping our opponent doesn't have it. They didn't seem to have it last turn. Visionary. Draws a card. Forest. Alright. Dodging the bullets. Grafdigger's Cage would be sweet. Well, let's get in with Worm Coil. Opponent blocks. That's fine. We get some tokens. Then we can... I guess we can just empty our hand here. We can make a ton of mana thanks to these Grand Architects. Play Steel Hellkite. Flooded Strand. Crack it. Get an island. Turn Hellkite blue. Tap Hellkite. And play our second Worm Coil. Well, this is it. This is what our deck can do. Does our opponent draw Genesis Wave this turn? If not, we should win next turn. Utopia Sprawl. Is not Genesis Wave. No. They have it. They drew it. Okay, Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness, get back Slime, kill our Steel Hellkite. That's annoying, but not the end of the world. We really did want to hit our opponent and blow up a bunch of their stuff. That would have been very good. But we still have a much bigger board than our opponent, and we're going to make them start chump blocking. And we have good draws now. Mindslaver would be insane. Opponent passes. Ooh. Well, let's Treasure Mage. I think this lets us Mindslaver. Get a Mindslaver. Tap our blue creatures. Sweet! It's working! Play Mindslaver. And our opponent scoops it up! Alright, we dodged the Genesis Wave. That's what our deck wants to do. I don't think Platinum Angel really matters because our opponent can just kill it with Dragonlord Atarka when they Genesis Wave. We got to try to keep the Genesis Wave from happening. We could bring in Spreading Seas. That might actually be worthwhile. It hits Nykthos and makes Utopia Sprawls fall off of a forest. I don't know what we go down, though. Sundering Titan's probably not that good. Maybe we can cut a couple Mind Stones and go down the Spellskite for a... And Spine's expensive. Oh, we're on 20 lands. Eey. Well, maybe we stay 3 Mind Stones. Let's try it like that. Double Inquisition is nice, but that's all we can do with this hand. Alright, we'll keep this. And I think we'll keep Muldrifter. Opponent leads on Arbor Elf. Well, Flooded Strand, crack it. Grab an island, and kill Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. So the best draw in our deck is Heartless Summoning. That would be insane. Mind Stone would be helpful. Another Arbor Elf. Marsh Flats. Well, play Polluted Delta, pass the turn. There's a Burning Tree. Untaps. And a Strangle Root. Opponent gets in with the Strangle Root. Yep. Down to 13. Well, crack Polluted Delta. Watery Grave, tapped. More lands. Well, play and crack Marsh Flats. Try to get some more lands out of our deck. Plains. And I guess we just Treasure Mage for a Worm Coil. Trinket Mage actually would have been better here. And pass the turn. Another Arbor Elf. Opponent's down to 3 cards, but they're likely all action, judging by their hand. Wow, opponent passes? We draw a Metamorph. This feels weird, but I think we just Metamorph a Strangleroot Geist for defense. Because it will come back in with Undying, and then we can copy something else. Come on, no Nykthos. Taps, untaps, taps, untaps. There's Garrick. Makes a beast. Well, at least they're not going towards ultimate. Opponent passes. Another Treasure Mage. Well, Hallowed Fountain down to 9. No Evoke. Cast Muldrifter. Alright. Well, let's attack Garrick. Opponent's going to block, I assume. Yeah, blocks with the beast. That's fine. We get back Strangleroot. Copy Muldrifter. Land. Alright, pass the turn. Well, what's our opponent got in hand? They managed to develop their mana thanks to the Garrick. This is the turn. Next turn, we can start playing our big stuff. Opponent taps, untaps. We also get to kill Garrick, potentially. Opponent has 6 mana. Wistful Selkie to draw a card. Nykthos is so bad if our opponent draws it. Another Arbor Elf. Is that it? Okay. Opponent passes. Ooh. That's a interesting draw. Oh, wow. Now things are really interesting. One line is just to play a Worm Coil and hope nothing goes wrong. The thing going wrong would be our opponent drawing Nykthos. We would be at 8. If they draw Nykthos and have Genesis Wave or Crater Hoof, we would just lose. The other line is also risky. And that would be like Grafdigger's Cage to stop Genesis Wave and then Metamorph on like a Muldrifter. I think we just have to Worm Coil and hope we can fade this one hit. So go to combat, kill Garrick with our 3/3 Muldrifter. Flooded Strand, crack it, get our last island, and Worm Coil number 1. Well, this is the turn. If we fade this turn, we should be good. If our opponent plays Nykthos this turn... Okay, Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground is not Nykthos. So our opponent only has 6 mana. Taps, untaps. And that's tapping all their Arbor Elves. Taps. Untaps. Taps. Okay, Acidic Slime. That's fine. Kills our Worm Coil. Alright, I think we might have gotten there now. Opponent passes. We draw Muldrifter. Well, let's get in with our Lifelink Worm. Back up to 11. Watery Grave, untapped. Grafdigger's Cage. And Wormcoil number 2. Pass the turn. Whew, alright. Now we're not as worried about a Genesis Wave. We could still lose to, like, a Nykthos, Craterhoof, something like that. But Grafdigger's Cage makes it so our opponent can't Genesis Wave, hit Eternal Witness, get back Genesis Wave, and just combo off that way. And now, hopefully, our big stuff just outpowers our opponent's big stuff. We could also find a Grand Architect, which would be pretty insane. They might have Dragonlord Atarka here, which actually would be good for us, because we could metamorph it. Yup. Alright, there's Atarka. This actually works out, I think, in our favor. So we can metamorph Atarka and kill a bunch of our opponent's dorks. Yeah, opponent kills a bunch of our stuff. I don't think they can attack. No attacks. Opponent passes. If we ever find Heartless Summoning, then we go super crazy. Inquisition. Well, I think we metamorph for life down to 7. Copy Dragonlord Atarka. Kill a bunch of our opponent's stuff. And especially all the mana production. And then we can Inquisition our opponent. Oh god. Oh no! Creeping Corrosion! Does that just beat us? Well, let's attack with Wormcoil. Opponent blocks. We go back to 13. Play a Treasure Mage. How can we survive? I think it's Duplicant. So our opponent's going to sweep our board. Yeah, it's got to be Duplicant. We can't Mindslaver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unless we just draw Grand Architect. Take Duplicant, play the tap land, pass the turn. So assuming our opponent just Creeping Corrosions here, we drop to 2. Yep, there's Creeping Corrosion. Oh, they didn't kill it. Never mind. Never mind, we're still good. For some reason, I was thinking they would try to kill our Wormcoil, because these tokens mean we're fine, actually. Was stressed out about nothing, because now we easily survive, Duplicant the Tarka, and then hopefully proceed to win the game. Opponent's out of cards as well. Ooh, Steel Hellkite is sweet, but let's Duplicant. Ooh, our one tutorable 6-mana remove a spell. Well, looks like we might win through Creeping Corrosion. And now we get to go attacking. Opponent takes it. And now, drawing a... Even if they draw a Nykthos, it's not that good because they have no cards in hand. Genesis Wave isn't good, and our opponent scoops it up. Woo! Alright, well, Heartless Summoning, taking down Green Devotion. That was a super close match, but impressive. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.